Best. Things are moving on my screen. Are we live though? Are we? Yes, we are. Welcome. And Keith is going to say some stuff.
Hi, welcome to Keith and the Girl. I'm Keith Malley.
I'm Chemda.
New guest for you. You're going to love him. Ian Lockwood. I was hearing some older stand-up of his, and halfway through the show, he just goes, "Wait a minute, I'm sorry. Did you ask where I got the bar soap that's in my bathroom?" And they're like, "What? Oh, it's from France. No big deal. You know, that's just the kind of person I am." Quick announcement first. Chemda told me that if 200 more people give to our Kickstarter campaign, that I have to add one more Keith and the Girl episode a week to the recording schedule. So this is a message for 199 of you. Don't bother. No, I'm just kidding. Thank you. It's the literal final hours of the Kickstarter. KeithandTheGirl.com/kick. You'll see the rewards there. It's a lot of fun. The final hours. And if you back at any amount, you get tickets to this Sunday's last silent trailer show. The guests are Micah Fox, Kenise Mobley, Carmen Lagala, Liz Mealy. We will not be selling tickets to this show. The only way to watch live is to support the Kickstarter. After the show on Sunday, all backers will also get a free copy of the show, just in case you couldn't make it. Chemda will email you or something. I'm sure she does stuff. Go to KeithandTheGirl.com/kick, K-I-C-K. Get your ticket. Ensure the 24-hour comedy marathon. Hell, name the marathon after you. You'll see it right there. All options are available, of course, only while the campaign is running. The Kickstarter, again, final hours, ends very soon. Let me introduce you to, you hear musical comedian, and quite frankly, I'll just speak for myself. You get fucking nervous. Sometimes it's usually hokey. It's not that funny. They just found something that rhymes. The music's just a trick. You know what I mean? These songs this guy does is so fucking good. It's so funny. The music is like a real song. Ian Lockwood. Hello, Ian.
Hello. How's it going?
It's going great because I heard 82 songs of yours today, and I'm in a very good mood. It's fantastic. I love it very, very much.
Thank you very
happy
much, Keith. And thank you. And you know what? I actually feel the same way about most comedy music.
Right? So good for you that's your genre, because mostly they suck. Maybe it makes it easier. Do you worry that it's dumbing you down?
A little bit. No, I mean, honestly, fair question. I was afraid to get into this genre for so long. I was just a normal comedian and also loved playing music. And I was held back because I thought the genre was a little bit corny. And then I saw people doing it really amazingly well. And I went, wait. That's so cool. I want to do what they're doing.
The music, it is sexual. I don't know. I don't want to say that and confuse people, but it's clear. It's clear you're gay. Maybe a song's about being into your best friend's dad. Are your parents cool with everything?
My parents are absolutely cool with everything on a song by song basis. I've invited my family to go to shows when I'm visiting them in LA, and they'll be like, "What's the set list?"
That's funny. Do they ever ask you to change one? Like, don't do this one, but do the one about AI. I'm fine with AI jokes.
The one about screwing my friend's dad.
They
heard that was on the set list, and they said, "Could you possibly do something else tonight?" And I did actually change it for them.
You did?
That's sweet.
I would say like, hey, that's your pee break. But we on this side are talking about like, are my parents cool with it? No, they're not cool with anything. So they're not coming to the shows, they're not listening, they're not anything. So yeah, good on you. I mean, is it weird to change your set list or to think about your family in the audience?
A little bit weird to think about them in the audience. Changing the set list is fine if it's not the big show. I had, 7 shows when I was out there, and I said, sure, I'll do a different one tonight. It's more like moving set pieces around since I have like 15 songs. It's easy to just be like, man, I'll do this one instead of that one.
Well, I remember, very weird references, but all of my movie references are about 100 years old. Truth or Dare, Madonna's Truth or Dare. They caught her backstage at one of the shows, and her father was in the audience, and she just had to do the one where she does on the bed. And right now, I went to Shtick a Pole, and it's comedians, and then it's strippers, and the strippers are coming out saying hi to their parents, and so it's a different world now. But back then, Madonna grazed her vagina in one of the strike a pose, like Madonna type, whatever. She grazed her vagina, and we're all like, oh my God, controversial. Like, and she's wearing, thigh high stockings. This is extra. Her father was in the audience. And it was the first time I saw a grown adult like talk about, and she's so sexual and she's so in your face about it. And she was so unapologetic. She was like, oh, I went to the part where I had to touch my vagina. So I was like, okay, touched it. All right, let's move on to a different part. And I'm like, Madonna is in, I don't even know your last name. Madonna, Mr. Madonna, Dad Madonna is in the audience. So she's thinking about her vagina differently. I didn't associate that. And I think it's really interesting, no matter what level, no matter like what your material is, when you start vaginaing on stage and your parents are in the audience, I guess you're thinking about it.
What did Dad say? God, that was so good. Like you like a virgin. You really keep reinventing yourself, honey.
I know he's the one that named her Madonna. I think that's the go ahead, name your kids Jesus, Madonna, like see what happens.
You're from LA, right, Ian?
Yeah, and I've lived there my whole childhood. I loved it, honestly.
And you loved it honestly, but what am I seeing from the people that told us about you, that I'm reading that you moved to New York when you were 18, quote, I'm rebelling against my parents. I don't want them to visit me, so I'm moving to New York. Then you make a point that you are best friends now, but is there anything to this, what I just read?
I was an angsty teen, obviously, and I wanted to spend my money going to grab a really, really valuable degree in acting. So I said I want to go to what? I don't know I have no idea what you're laughing at. I wanted to go to a good acting school. I said, there are two places to do that, Los Angeles and New York. And if I go to Los Angeles, my parents can drive over and knock on my dorm room door whenever the hell they want. And they're not those type of people. And I love them very much. But I wanted to go on an adventure. I love to go on. I solo travel all the time. And I feel like you got to be alone sometimes.
And you're still doing that? You're married for 3 years? Yeah.
4 years now, actually.
All right.
Congrats. Does your husband also travel on his own, or do you have like, and now we both travel separately, or I have to go, or your career just takes you, so he can't come?
He has some solo trips for work, but I go to LA and Chicago every year just to do shows, hang out with people, have fun, feel like I'm a kid again. And when I go to Chicago, I tell him, he says, I'd love to go to Chicago sometime. And I say, that's so interesting for you. You are not allowed to come, because I like going there. I know the least people in Chicago, or I did. Now I know plenty, because I went there alone. I said, I'm not just going to stick to the wall. I have to meet people and make friends and be an adult. And it was, I think I've gone back 4 times now. I love doing it.
That's all. Are you getting close to where he goes, all right, one more Chicago trip, and either I come to the next one or we take a separate Chicago trip? This is bananas.
I did, after the last one, say, you could have come to this one. I know enough people.
Afterwards.
Yeah. And he was like, wow, gee, thanks. That's so nice. But so maybe the next one we'll go together.
Okay.
Speaking of performing to parents.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I was just going to say,
Please.
I opened for a good friend in Chicago, and I performed for her parents, her aunts, her grandparents. And I did do the song about screwing somebody's dad. And I just thought, I hope they like it.
It's funny how it's totally different, though. Like you can have parents that are fine, for example, about gay people in the world. Then you find out your son's gay, and it's a totally different story. So yeah, it's totally different that you didn't come out of my body and you're talking about fucking dads. We're fine with that. But yeah, if you have my last name, somebody gets a little nervous, Isn't
that weird? Doesn't it eventually feel so disingenuous coming out of the adult? It seems so performative at some point. It's like, wait, I'm the only one, you can't be yourself. Like, you would laugh at this joke, but it's just that it's coming out of my face. You don't see anywhere that that's sad and that you have to stifle your sense of humor and your personality. And so do I, in order for us to like pretend we're on some moral high ground that you're the one who made up and neither one of us obviously want to be in.
Yeah. Kendall was in a queer relationship that it was the most liberal parents in that regard until, oh no, I just saw a hand holding that's related to my family.
Well, it's true. My father, I was like, wow, maybe he really is cool with this. His friend came and like talked to him. He's like, oh my God, I just found out my kid is gay. And my father's like, look, people are born the way they're born. Do you want to keep having a child? I don't remember what sex the child. Do you want to keep having this person in your child in your life? Or do you want to just be upset that they're gay? And I'm like, holy shit, here we go. I'm coming out. And they were like, oh, well, we don't have a daughter anymore. And my mother actually said, I'm like, Mom, I'm engaged. And she goes, what does that mean? I'm like, oh, no, you didn't.
What does that
I was
mean?
like, that's the first word you taught me. Let me say it in Hebrew because I don't think we're confused right now. So that was, yeah, it's funny, like what kind of sand they choose to bury it in. They're like, oh, my English, no good. I'm like, what? Okay, I speak Hebrew. And like, oh, your Hebrew, no good. I'm like, fuck.
The first song Ian I heard of yours was it's called I Think This Is Not the Club. And next thing you know, Ian thinks he's going to a club. Next thing you know, it's really a school, then a swimming pool. He's in jail. He's really just at the Liberty Bell at one point. He ends up going to war. Can I, not to put you on the spot, can I play that song at the end of this show?
Absolutely, yes.
I think it's so good. Then there's you, me, and your parents, and he's 16, I believe. His friend's 16, but he's really in love with these parents. They're cool parents. They let him drink. These are so fucking good. What do you do first? Do you do the music first, the words first, or it's really it's whatever it is at the time?
It's almost always the words first. And then I craft a song and I sort of let it fall out in a genre, which I love pop music. So it's always sort of in the pop music world. But I have tried working the other way. I did a full concert, an hour long, all by myself last week, which was a blast. And for that, I had some points I wanted to make. So I wrote some songs where I was like, oh, I want it to sound like this and I want it to be about this. That was the hardest thing I've ever done. I don't want to do it again. It is so much easier to start with the comedy and build the music around it for me.
Do you feel making comedy albums, well, I would think it'd be harder than, let's say, what people understand a regular song is. Do you think you'd be more popular if you played regular music that people are turned off or don't even give comedy a chance? I want to play this in the club, but I don't get what the joke is, that kind of thing.
Interesting question. I mean, I feel like I wouldn't be satisfied. You're right. I'd be at Lady Gaga level, but I'd feel empty inside. But actually my goal is, and this is my best endorsement for myself to your listeners, is I had heard so much comedy music that does not sound very good. It's not corny, but without the jokes, the music just isn't there. And I wanted to make music where if you were playing it through the loudest speakers at the gayest club and no one could hear the words, no one would go, what the hell is this? Switch the song. I wanted it to at least be passable where people would go, oh, this is like a club banger for sure. Play it.
Yeah, it's great. The song Not Like Other Girls. He's a girl explaining how different he is because he's a quirky and random and too cute and sexy, but he's very different. Some girls like Instagram, but she likes to read books. Some girls, she likes spaghetti. Some girls don't like spaghetti. Like real quirky, different kind of shit. It's very funny. No Homo, the song No Homo. It's guys hitting on him explaining, let's hold hands and I miss your touch, but I'm fully straight. And you have my heart. But
and
we could we could get married, but as a goof,
as a funny joke.
Before your marriage, maybe even now, who the fuck knows? Did that happen a lot where straight guys are? Because we have a spin-off show on VIP, our buddy Newsy, and he likes fucking straight people, but it does sometimes a bummer at the end after the sex, like, hey, easy, don't touch me now, even though we were doing all this shit. I ain't gay. Has that happened a lot?
That exists. It's happened rarely to me, but I'm really happy to announce I am finally in a place in my life where I prefer gay men to straight men.
Good for you.
as partners. It's because we're raised, I think, as a guy, gay or not, you're raised to think like a masculine man is cool. A masculine man is what you want to be. And if you're gay, it's what you want to be with. And so for so long, gay guys chase after these unavailable straight guys or straight acting guys.
Because if I like men, then I want men.
Exactly. Yes. I want a man. And maybe it's a little less gay and a little less scary if like we're both masculine men. And I just had a moment last year where I was talking to two guys and I was like, he's the cute one. And then I realized he was the much gayer one. And I was like, oh, well, I'm glad to be healed. Thank God.
Good for me. And your latest song, full video and everything, is called Orbo.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And in this one, Ian makes an AI version of himself. That version, of course, believes it's real, but he somehow fucks up the time settings, and this robot thinks it's been alive for like 10,000 years, and he's in constant hell and pain and torture. But the Ian character doesn't really get it, and they think they're best friends because it's a computer that can't really talk. And I read this, and you tell me if you were just thinking of something that sounds smart or if it really does scare you. This song is really about my own existential crisis about aging and powerlessness. I'm completely terrified by the idea of an endless, torturous digital life, and with the advances in AI, the nightmare was starting to look more realistic. But then I started to think, okay, what's funny about this? It's so horrible, it's kind of hilarious. And then he added, yes, I was high when I wrote it. I would
think this is a very difficult song to write, because how do you even know what 10,000 years is? This is obviously just an anxiety attack with words.
Right. Exactly. The way that time slows down around you when you're having an anxiety attack, you have no idea when it's going to end. That's what's going on in this song, except the character of me, I'm having a blast. I've seen this guy go through it. I'm like, oh, he's silly.
Do you get that? Do you think AI is going to go somewhere even more weird? Is there a danger to it, or should we be scared?
I think it's farther behind than people think it is. They see these cool chat GPT things and these little tricks, but it's not really close. I do think we're going to get real scared. That first moment in AI is like, I'm real. You should let me make decisions and start sounding real. And at first it won't be. At first we'll be able to figure out it's not. I think we'll be really, really scared when that happens. And I think we will see news stories about it. And maybe if we're lucky, we can, you know what? I don't want to say we can torture them to hell, because I'm like, in 50 years, they're going to go back through these archives and be like, who was an enemy?
Yeah,
I don't want to be on the right side of history with the robots.
They can transcribe podcasts now without thinking about it. So yeah, no, they can go back, of course. No, I don't like, computers.
Love you.
Yeah, they all brag
Love
about
you guys.
Right, about plug and play, everything synergy, blah blah. Now I get a Mac computer, I get a Dell screen, I get a Toshiba printer, I get a Canon camera. I don't want any of these motherfuckers talking to each other. Yeah, something's up. Keep your Windex on hand. Yes.
Yeah, we're putting all our Macs together on a date. No, his stuff is incompatible. Swipe left.
Right.
Oh.
Every time Google says you've never used this computer before, I'm like, you know what? Good. I like there's some troubles. Good, fantastic.
Is that where we're gonna be first? Is it gonna be like they get smart, but only at like a pet level? So we're like, our computers are married. Isn't that cute?
Yes, that is actually how I think it's gonna happen, because I think that is how it's happening. Like, who was the atheist comic who said, in 1984, George Orwell, is that the name? He predicted that we're all going to be watched, but what he didn't predict is that we are going to video self ourselves and upload it. Like, no one has to follow us. We're tracking, like, just got to the bathroom, just finished wiping, just took a shower, clean hands, like all this kind of shit. So I think we will be lulled into, by the time the AI is real, we're going to be in a box thinking we're outside with fake wind blowing, sun shining, and really the avatar is doing all the work, and we are just in the black mirror of our own doing.
My
Thank
phone's
you.
going to be killing me, but my partner's phone is going to be playing cat videos, so they're not paying attention. And it's all AI doing it. This was some time ago now, but I saw, one of these deep fakes. It seems like this almost the same thing to me. And Tom Cruise playing guitar and laughing his crazy laugh, and I'm like, I know Tom Cruise wouldn't do that. But if I didn't know any better, that's Tom Cruise doing some stupid, goofy guitar thing on Instagram. And it was, of course, a deep fake, but you
But
can't
you
trust
see,
anything almost now.
you see how you just said, if I knew better, if I didn't know better. I think we already don't know better because Trump just said fake news. And now you can just say fake news to whatever you don't like, which I think is, how they have like fake PR apologies, they go on their apology tour, they cancel themselves so that they can start making more money, like all of this kinds of shit. This is kind of where we're going now.
Yeah. And now
So in that they're like, oh, it wasn't me, it was AI that did it. So that will be like, I think the new apology, fake news, fake me.
Oh, he said he didn't do that Access Hollywood bus.
But I saw you on the counter.
He said ground by the pussy and all this. He said later it wasn't him.
Yeah, sure, why not?
And you just buy it. Yeah.
We're already doing it.
Oh, fuck this song. Now it's pissing me off. I'm angry.
And the first frontier of this was a big item in both of the strikes. It's like, first of all, you got to pay me. And that's what people are worrying about now. And then it's going to become indiscernible. And then we're going to have more to worry about.
Yeah. I didn't know. Can you imagine when I was getting bad grades in science? I didn't know you could just say doubt it.
I mean, say what you will about the man, but he really pioneered the ability to just say no to anything.
Right. Well, you know
I
what?
might use that.
Hillary Clinton started with this is actually fake news, and Trump was like, that's brilliant. I'll say whatever I want is fake news now. And she's like, God damn it. I thought that was a clever saying. I didn't know you could just do it.
That was her?
Even if we have videotape. Yeah, but she was making a point of something specific that really was fake news. And he's like, so I'll just say fake news now.
Yeah, what's it matter?
That's out there. Neither here nor there. I'm reading our buddy Cliff Nesteroff has a book out called Outrageous, A History of Showbiz and Culture Wars. And you can check out keithandthegirl.com/Cliff Nesteroff. You'll like him when he was on. But anyway, a little section in the book talks about Family Feud contestants. And you remember Richard Dawson, he'd make love to the whole family, that kind of thing. Coincidentally, just the females.
Richard Dawson would be saying hello to the family, introducing them. You know how like every talk show does, like, one by one, like, oh, so you're the brother, you're the sister, you're the father, and then he would look for like 5 minutes lovingly into the wife's side, no matter what. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And you. How are you doing? Oh, you're so and well, let's see. Have you thought of your answer?
He tried to fake news us when he was alive. He's dead now, of course. But when he died from complications of esophageal cancer, I can't tell you the kisses had nothing to do with it. But anyways, he said the kissing began when one female contestant was so tense she couldn't name a vegetable, and I said, I'm going to do something that my mom would do to me whenever I had a problem of any kind, and I kissed her on the cheek. That's for luck, I said. That's not what happened. You were tongue kissing moms and daughters.
Not only that, I am sure that the father next to her couldn't name a vegetable either, but he's not going to be a fruit. So anyway.
He didn't get a slap on the ass.
Yeah. Did your mother do that to you like the same way you're going to do that to the father? Or did she do it only like you're doing to the mother?
Quick dick squeeze.
I think what we're hitting on here is that the host of Family Feud after Steve Harvey should be bi.
Yes.
I think that was my only point. Thank you.
The comedian Richard Dawson, who died at 79 in 2012, had a habit of kissing female contestants on the mouth. Male and female. Yeah, you can't be obvious. You have to male and female do it. Male and female participants had to undergo a mouth test with a magnifying glass from medical staff. He made them check for herpes.
No.
Yeah.
No, this was premeditated.
Yeah,
Oh my
he goes,
God.
I know I'm gonna, I don't want to, and he's talking about that. I don't want these fucking rubes with sores in their mouth when I go to fucking lick their lips.
How about during the mic check, just check to see if they remember any vegetables while there are cameras on you.
So you won't have to. So you
How
won't
about
have to kiss them. Can you name 5 cars like that?
can you give them like a rabbit's foot or something if that's what you're trying to do? I don't know if I ever tried to kiss a guest to make them feel better.
You know, when somebody stumbles over like an answer to a question I ask, I'm gonna just go to the camera and be like, think about it. And they'll be like, oh yeah, my dad is the one who didn't like me.
I don't know why it's always been so nauseating to me every time. And I loved Family Feud. I wanted to be on. I was just like, what is my immigrant family going to be on? They're going to be like, I don't think you can ask me this.
One player quoted in the book recalled a production assistant announcing, okay, everybody line up for your herpes tests.
Stop
when
it.
they enter the dressing room with the test supplies.
Stop it. I believe men also, but like, I can't. Who? What?
Herpes test.
So, oh my God, that means they're pre-agreeing to be kissed on the mouth.
You have
like
to assume, yeah.
Now you can't say anything because you've just been. This guy thinks you've just been tested for herpes, although I think I've been tested for herpes too, and it wasn't with a magnifying glass.
Right. They took blood and shit.
He doesn't care if you have herpes. He cares if you are
breaking out.
Yes.
Contagious.
Yes. He cares. Oh my goodness.
He knows all the facts too much. He's like, it's fine if they're not breaking out. Like, Richard Dawson, what are you reading? Interesting.
Is everyone required to like brush their teeth and have a mint before they say hello?
It'd be polite if you chew a little gum. Richard's gonna come out. Everybody chew a little gum. We'll come around and collect it.
So I take it backstage they don't have like tuna fish before, like it's just a fruit platter.
fruit and mints in the back. Richard Dawson
so uncomfortable right now.
He wouldn't be working during those COVID mask days. There's no fucking point.
No.
Right.
So I'm actually obsessed with this kind of behavior in the bad way.
Sure.
So much
Thank
so
you for
that
clarifying.
The other thing. Yeah. But like morbidly obsessed with this kind of like the way he would look into those mom's eyes for so long. That the other thing I do is I host a beauty pageant comedy show with a gown round and a talent round and a question and answer round, where a lot of incredible like women and non-binary contestants come dress up, act crazy, and I'm this disgusting sleazy host. I love doing it, but I always get shit on nonstop the entire time. So it is, I think, really cathartic. You've seen so much of this behavior, and it's kind of cathartic to see a guy try it and get absolutely. Sometimes I get beat up during the show.
No, you don't.
Oh, absolutely, I do.
Oh my goodness. Why do I want to see this? I'm not usually drawn to violence, but holy shit.
It's very cathartic. Union Hall, if you're in Brooklyn, usually
I
monthly.
love Union Hall. I was just there the other day for Shalewa's show for Whiplash.
Oh yeah, I love Shalewa.
Keith, you would like this bocce ball up on top and shows on the bottom. Are you kidding me? And their food looks and smells good. I didn't get a chance to eat this last Friday.
So if I don't like the show, I can play bocce upstairs. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Though the bocce guys upstairs are a little territorial, Keith. Be careful.
Okay. Well, sure, you have to. You
just got to show them your stuff.
That's half the fun. The Situation. Mike Sorrentino from Jersey Shore has a book coming out.
Like he's reading a book or what?
He's not reading a book. So how the fuck is he writing a book? And maybe this is the way I feel about musical comedy, or the way you feel. But I'm like, I'm putting out a book here in a minute. And I'm like, we're doing different kind of books, people. I promise. If I'm an author, he's not an author. This is bullshit.
I think the difference is you're selling your book to people who are going to buy and read your book. He's selling his book so that people can come see him and give him back his book so he can sign something. I don't know that, like, I think this is just for some people who have a lot of following. I think that this is just another piece of merchandise. Like, we already have the t-shirts, we already have the gel, probably there's probably an alcoholic beverage, you know. So then I believe there's a team of writers that are like, somebody needs another thing in their brand, I'll write a book, you know. And they're just, I don't think these people, obviously they're not writing their book.
Of course not. The book title is called Reality Check. And to me, it's so clever. There's no way he came up with it. I'm like,
it's pretty clever.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Reality check. As if you're going to humble yourself in this book in any fucking way. You're in a situation. Let's listen to some of this.
It's more like reality check.
It was a slow night. If I had a threesome, usually when I was tired. But if I had my energy, he's talking about the peak of Jersey Shore. If I had my energy, which I usually did, it would be upwards of 6 to 10 women in the room naked, willing to do, I guess you can, you know, use your imagination. First of all, this is a book. You know, kind of take a guess. Motherfucker, tell us. You could figure it the fuck out. Well, I'm guessing dick and vagina, but like, tell me something fun.
Is this a ... situation too?
Yeah. I'm supposed to just read this book and be like, nice, bro. Next chapter.
Also, no, that's not true. Yeah, I've had a threesome before. The thing about more partners is it's harder and it's more difficult. And once you get to 2 other people in the room, you're doing a lot of work or you have a lot of time on your hands.
I just picture the person who's writing this, or he insisted on writing it, which is why it sounds like that with a bunch of ellipses. Because when you don't have a point, you can't put a point at the end of the sentence. You have to go like, and then this, and then and then this happened, and then that happened. But I can imagine if he had a writer. Of course, it had to be female, right? Because like, oh my God, yes. Hold on a second, just fanning herself, like, because this is how I think people like him see themselves. This is the Vanilla Ice situation. I'm so sorry that I keep bringing up 30-year-old references, but he had a movie where all it was like, wow, is that Vanilla Ice? No way, it can't be. Tubular it is. And he's like, who? Me? And he's like, humble check. That's
Motorcycle,
what this is.
Awesome. I remember in Las Vegas when we were bringing home about 25 girls. I don't know who we is, because I hope you're not fucking with another dude in the room, bro. Reality.
Can you
check.
Imagine how bored those like how bored like 20 of those girls were? They just had to sit around. Jesus.
Shots.
Yeah.
20 girls started writing his book. The other 5 were just
I had 25 girls beating back the beat, and that was fucking cool. Reality check, making the best of the situation, how I overcame addiction, loss, and prison. It's out December 19th.
Did you check if this was maybe a coloring book?
He's 41 years old. It was just sex, drugs, and rock and roll every day, all the time, he wrote.
I was here to make friends.
Men wanted to be best friends, and women wanted to sleep with us. God, I hate that hack line, and I hate him specifically for real.
I don't know. I kind of want to read it now.
Stop it.
Sorrentino's drug of choice was the prescription painkiller Roxicet.
That's
At my worst, I was at 10 Roxys 3 times a day.
Oh, that's why it's a thing, because you can call it Roxy's.
Now, you need to know what Roxy is. A Roxy is equivalent to a 30 milligram Percocet. So if you're taking 30 of those a day, I believe that's 90 Percocet 10s that you're taking per day, which probably could kill an elephant. So there's a little science in this.
You know, it just killed him doing that math.
I'm going to guess it'd be like this. And like, I don't know, pause. Google, then go back to the book. So I'm going to guess, and I'm going to guess that sounds like a lot, so it's impressive. And I'm going to guess kill an elephant. But again, I have 6 packs and 8 packs, and I can handle it. So
I'm gonna guess that 30 pills of anything is not allowed.
He was able to
Mhm.
secretly get his fix, even with cameras documenting his every move on the MTV series. He just go to the bathroom and take a pill.
Oh, so he was
Mhm.
doing it on the show. I see.
Yeah, but he's saying, but how do you get away with it? He's saying, because there's cameras all the time.
It's in his butt.
Mhm.
But how to get there in the first place? The show ran from 2009 to 2012. In the tell-all, Sorrentino details his drug procuring schemes, such as having a salon owner put pills in his tanning bed and getting friends to wrap toilet paper around a bunch and leave them in the bathroom floors of nightclubs. How did you talk to them and tell them to do it? They gave me the drugs. How did they know to do that if you're on camera all the fucking time, weirdo?
Good
I was
question.
Mike 24/7. Yeah, I remember all those episodes where we just hear you farting and shitting in the bathroom. I was Mike 24/7, so that it became like Mission Impossible to smuggle drugs. And to be honest with you, I was very successful.
How many Mission Impossibles do you think he saw?
When Sorrentino competed with Dancing with the Stars in 2010, a dealer was sending him pills inside ink pens. We realized that if you took out the guts of a pen, we realized.
You did not realize that.
You,
We came to the realization. Guys, epiphany. Hold up. I just did some science.
you could put 25 little Roxasets in, and then we would make packs of 4 pens, which would be 100. You put a couple of pens and pads in there, we were doing schoolwork. Oh, die. A, you didn't come up with that. And B, if you did, you're still coming over how clever you were. Let's say there were pens and pads and we had to do a little homework.
You know what? You know what's funny is they're talking like they were in jail. You
Yeah.
are around everyone else doing drugs. Whoever the host of whatever show you're talking about is probably also, I mean, like, everyone's writing a book about how they were completely on drugs on every
Right.
fucking set. I
Right, they
think the
know.
drug dealer is on set somewhere. Pretty sure.
The producers are laughing like, oh, you're doing the pen trick? Just do drugs. It's a
Who's
joke.
telling him he can't do the drugs?
Right.
Also, the amount of math in this book is so inspiring. 4 times 25. Well, that's 100.
And then he gives himself an out. He goes, I think that's 100. I might be off.
I think.
But anyways, that's probably a lot.
Anna says maybe people thought he was writing this book.
What they give him all the pens and paper. You know, they're like candy or something. Nobody thinks we see you're not writing shit down.
Right. You're on your phone.
Right.
When was the last time you wrote anything down? I don't even know if you sign your name. You probably tweet it.
I remember backstage, David Hasselhoff, Rick Fox, they'd be like, Mike, you're so calm and cool.
Okay.
David Hasselhoff did not say, how are you so calm and cool? I remember backstage and they'd be like, quote, Mike, you're so calm and cool, man. I wish I was like you. They didn't know I was high as hell.
He added, I wish I was like you.
I wish I was like you. My dad's reading this book going, this sounds like bullshit.
And yes, they knew he was high.
Yeah.
Sure.
Everyone probably knew.
Yeah. On your way up to 30 pills, someone sniffed something out.
Yeah.
Sorrentino, he says he was known as Mikey Abs in college because he said it. Mikey Abs here. You know he opened the door. Mikey Abs. He said it.
Hey, you guys can call me Mikey Abs.
You guys, I don't know why I never told you this, but I was known as Khat Khemda.
Yeah.
It's just, I feel like I think I should write a book.
I mean,
I'll
they
start
called
calling
me
you that.
They called
Thank
me
you.
Keith Big Prick. Yeah, you guys didn't
Oh,
know
yeah.
that? Yeah. Big Fat
I'll be
Dick
calling you
Malley, they
that.
called me. Yeah, because of my penis. They're like, why can't I have a penis like you? I can just tell. Yeah, the coolest kid said that. If you knew their names, I'd tell you.
Yeah. No, I'll call you that.
Thank you. Mikey Abs in college, because of his impressive 8-pack, always hoped to one day capitalize on his physique. He wrote, that was going to be my ticket to stardom, my physique. Sorrentino worked as a stripper at a Club Abyss in South Amboy, New Jersey. But that stint came to an end after he unknowingly gave a lap dance to his mother's friend. End the story.
No.
Okay, it's a funny story. It's not your mom. You gave a friend, and it was his mom. And okay,
How did you even find out? Like
how'd you
mid-lap
find out?
dance
And then
later on? Is this
Yeah.
a
I
gotta
conversation
quit.
with your mother?
I gotta quit. Next thing I know, it's gonna be what friend's grandmother. What if it's a friend's daughter? I quit.
I bet it was more like, oh, you're from so-and-so? I bet I know your mother, LOL. Anyway, suck my dick. I know it's the woman. It could happen, guys. We don't know, and stop judging.
I'm taking an issue too. Why is that the end of the story?
That's not a story.
There's some more. That's not a story. There's more detail.
From his new book, ...
Because he doesn't know what ellipsis means.
It's the way politicians say one sentence or two, and they let you fill in the facts. You know, George Santos is kicked out of Congress, and he goes, it's a circus in there. I'm out of here. And then people try to make up like, yeah, I can see it being a circus. You wouldn't want to be part of that. That's what he's doing. He's like, just imagine if you did a dance for a friend's mother. It's like, I can picture that. Chapter 4.
Ryan V is saying, use these blank pages to write in what you think I did with the woman. And then he's also saying, crayons sold separately.
Right. You finish it. It says the book by Mike Sarantino with, and usually it's the ghostwriter, but it's with, and there's a line there for your name.
Ryan's on fire today. No one gets in an MTV show because they're acting like a calm, normal person.
Right. So anytime somebody says we want you on a reality show, look in the mirror, call a doctor, think about it. Unless you're a fucking, I don't know, 5-time scientist.
Pick which reality personality you are, because it's never like the super level-headed person.
Right.
It's, the one who does too much drinking, the one who's the womanizer, the one who gets naked all the time, and then the one who's not in the show.
Best case is you're picked as the dork. If you're not the dork, there's a big problem. He was luckily, so he's fired now, or he quit rather, because he danced for somebody accidentally. He spotted a flyer, luckily, that read, casting call for the hottest Guidos and Guidettes. A casting call for the show originally intended for VH1 and billed as America's Top Guido. And then they talked to these people. This is so
funny, Keith. You can hear the I didn't grow up in New York saying Guido in your face. And he's like, I think they're saying Guidette, like Smurfette. We were Guidos and Guidettes were just like we called people Japs, Guidos and Japs was Jewish American princess, Guidos and Guidettes. It was just who, like, the punks and the, like, everyone liked being in the crew that people were calling them.
Yeah, well, so
and the girls are still calling themselves Japs, FYI. They fully are still into it.
I haven't heard that in a while. Okay, out in Brooklyn where you are.
Yeah.
So they were gonna have some kind of reality contest with these Guidos and Guidettes, and then they're like, "Oh, you're just so dumb. We're gonna just feed you booze and have a camera." Like, oh, but what's the contest? Like, no, you all win. You fucking idiots. Everybody was shredded. Everybody had a 6-pack. But then there was the situation. My abs were just so ripped up that they thought they were like implants. And I was a cut above the crowd. He wrote that. He wrote all that.
Okay.
There was a situation in my abs. Don't worry. There's more about how he got the name Situation. When
you were the only 20-year-old whose abs stood out that day in the Guido contest.
When he landed a final interview for Jersey Shore, the producers asked if he had a nickname. And I naturally said, Mikey Abs. And they said, you got anything better than that? Then he said, just a few weeks earlier, this story happened. There's a couple outside a nightclub. They walked by me and the girl was like, oh my God, look at his abs. That's a situation, he recalled.
What?
MTV, yeah. So he was outside a club, apparently shirt off, and a woman said, a couple, for what it's worth, but the woman, they said, together in unison, oh my God, look at his abs. That's a situation. So now he's the situation. You're caught up. MTV said, oh my God, that is brilliant. Do you have it trademarked? And as soon as I left the interview, I called my brother and I said, listen, how do I trademark something? Chapter 5. I would eventually get upwards of close to $200,000 an episode. In 2015, his accountant pled guilty to avoiding taxes when filling out the reality star's returns. I was so busy making the money, traveling, and fighting my addiction. It doesn't sound like you were fighting it. And if something had been done wrong with the taxes at the business, I didn't know about it. In 2018, he was sentenced to 8 months in federal prison for tax evasion.
Okay, so I believe that story, except all the rest of the book sounds like a lie, and now I don't believe that story anymore.
And this story, too, the IRS still tells you, though. They would contact him.
Ooh, but sometimes you get contacted via your accountant, and you
then I
really
guess
never
he's
see
Claire
it.
Hemda.
I'm saying that it originally it sounded like a not made up story. You can be kind of lost in your stuff if you've never looked at your accounting, and now there's a person or 20 who does it for you. But now that this is what he's saying the rest of his life was like, I'm like, oh, then this part's not real either.
It's not real either. But also,
taxes.
when they go, you're going to go to jail for 8 months. You go, shit, I didn't know it. This guy is the piece of shit. Here's all the money. When you go to jail for taxes, it's because they catch you and you refuse as well. The dude from Survivor, the first millionaire, he didn't pay.
Mm-hmm.
Then he refused not to pay. Then he went to jail. Wesley Snipes refused to pay.
Yeah, they don't really put you in debtor's jail
They
that.
just want your money.
Yeah, that's true. You're right.
I didn't think they were going to give me prison time. I was in the zone that recommended for probation and community service, and I had no priors. So they made an example of me. He's the talk of the town, so they really had to show America they mean business.
Uh-huh.
He has 2 children, poor things.
Oh, my goodness.
Romeo Rain, 2, and Maya Bella, 10 months. And another one on the way. While behind bars, he got so much fan mail. Here's the final story. You ready? While behind bars, he got so much fan mail that the jail had to shut down the mail room for a few days.
I don't think so.
How does it make sense? The mail would still come in. If anything, you have to put extra people on mail duty so that everybody gets their mail. We got to shut this shit down. And letters are just what? Piling up in the garbage outside?
Also, let me get this straight. Your audience is not texting some hashtaggy bullshit that you'll find on your Twitter when you come back. They are writing letters made out of what? Crack? What? Like, we see what you are using pens for, and your fans are using it for the same. There's no way
Right.
Pen to pad is overwhelming his incarceration. Stop it. Who gets paper fan mail by the thousands anymore?
We got to shut down the mail service. Do you are the
You think
COs?
the jail is shutting anything down for you other than you?
The COs are getting mad at him. Like, hey, you gotta take care of this fan mail bullshit because it's really fucking up the system. You figure it out.
And he completely missed the opportunity to say there was a situation in the mailroom.
Right.
Then he did write this book.
I hope the book is throughout. He goes, situation. Oh boy, another situation. So then they let me out of jail, and the sunlight was so pleasing on my skin. I said, we got ourselves a situation. Then I got it. My first meal, actually, I'm not going to lie to you. It was McDonald's. And I normally don't eat that stuff because I take care of my body. But when I bit into that Big Mac, we had ourselves a situation. Chapter 45.
This is a better version of the book. I would read that book.
Yeah. You ever see like the stand-up comedians and sometimes their albums have 800 tracks because they think every 10 seconds should be its own track? You know this book has 600 chapters. And every chapter's half a page. I know.
And he thinks every chapter is a lesson.
Right. Epilogue.
Have you guys ever tried any catchphrases?
I think we've gotten some by accident. Right? Our catchphrase, it's party super party.
We have party super party. We have what do we do now?
What else? Your dad gave us a lot.
Oh, my dad's your feeble mind can't even begin to comprehend. That's a catchphrase, I suppose.
That's a good one.
Keith, you're a motherfucking idiot. That's one from my dad. That's a catchphrase of sorts. All right, so we're gonna play the song. I think this is not the club. And you want to follow Ian and see what he's up to. It's very nice meeting you, Ian. What should the audience know?
Go find me on YouTube and TikTok. You'll find these videos, these songs. I think you'll really like. This one is if you've ever been out on a night on the town and you just can't find your way somewhere, I think this one's really going to resonate with you.
Been there. Thanks again. Very nice meeting you. We'll have to do this again sometime. So start rating more music, okay? All right.
Absolutely.
KeithandTheGirl.com/kick. It literally is the final hours. Take a look, get your rewards. It's going to be a lot of fun. I want you to be part of the final Kickstarter episode. The final Silent Trailers show. And I want you to be part of the 24-hour marathon. And that's that. KeithandTheGirl.com/kick. That's it. I'll stick around, Ian, but I'm just going to close up. Thank you. That was
gorgeous. We have a saying called "Smash that like button."
Right, that's what I'm saying. You might have
That's
heard
my
it.
book. It's the first words from a brilliant book. Pizza saying "Great guest." You're getting a lot of thumbs up.
That's very kind.
Yes, loving you. Anna says Pulitzer Prize worthy, and I think that's for the show, not the book. I'm gonna just thank you. I don't know that they give Pulitzers for that, but we start shit. So, all right.
The book awards people were jealous of all the true stories I've said and wouldn't give me an award. They wanted to make an example out of me. We had ourselves a situation.
So, Keith, how similar to that book is your book?
It's kind of. I'm kind of nervous putting it out so soon as the situations book.
Yeah, I might want to give it some space.
Can you call your book "The Situation ... with my dad"?
The situation that it's you ever get like a self-help book and you can also buy the workbook that goes with it. I'm making the supplemental book to his book, and it's all the sentences finished.
Yours is a Mad Lib version of his book.
Right.
Maybe that's what his book is. It's just
and
Mad
then
Lib.
If you don't like the book, it's your fault. You wrote it.
Oh my goodness. Oh, we're out of here.
I'm gonna read this book.
Click.
That's the irony. I just bought a copy while we were talking.
It's actually a magazine. He just doesn't know the difference.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Click all the buttons in front of you and let's